Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Crypto talk with Thomas G.
Yeah, dog.
Bringing heat, mining sprees, and we're farming all around, including heat.
Yeah, dog.
Bringing heat, mining sprees, and we're farming all around, including. Got me on Nevex and bought me some Joe. Farming go crazy, you know how it goes. Zoopy on Phantom, I got a few notes. Sticking my regs, you know I'm gon' hold. Getting these calls from the dog pound. Buy my dot for the next round. Now I'm coming up off the compound. Got my drip off the rebound. Getting these calls from the dog pound. Buy my dot for the next round. Now I'm coming up off the compound. Got my drip off the rebound. Crypto talk with Thomas G.
Yeah, dog.
Bringing heat, mining sprees, and we're farming all around, including heat.
Yeah, dog.
Bringing heat, mining sprees, and we're farming all around, including heat.
Yeah, dog.
Bringing heat, mining sprees, and we're farming all around, including heat.
Woo! All right. Welcome to R2R, live stream number 139. Thank you, everybody. Shout out to everybody who's showing up today. All right, we're doing 2 streams today. This is the public stream. We're talking about Pulse Chain's greatest OG chef. Is he cooking? Is he in the kitchen right now cooking? What's going on with OG? We're going to cover that. Later tonight, by like 8 p.m. Eastern time, we'll do members only. Remember, if you want to buy me a Ko-fi, it's $2.99 a month to get a little extra content. We track, public wallet. We'll talk about the plays I'm doing, get a little bit more, detail. So links in the description if you'd like to join the YouTube members only. Thank you guys who have joined for the coffee. This morning's a Gatorade. Already had my coffee. Everybody on YouTube, don't forget to smash the like button. Subscribe. Post notifications. You know the drill. Everybody on X. Retweet. Follow. Hashtag all your OG tokens on X. Right? You got Beast. You got Vizier. You got FinFire. You got FinFire. FinFesta. Gas Money. ATM. A lot of tokens in the OG Web Chef ecosystem. We're going to have to tag them all. You're going to have to tag them all. Psycho Crypto 23, what's up, G? Lock in, ArcNX. Thank you for being here. We've got some 2 members in the house. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Guys, always remember, I'm not a financial advisor. For damn sure not a professional. This is cryptocurrency. Don't ever allow an influencer on any social media platform out there to influence you when it comes to cryptocurrency. Because you could get wrecked. So be grown men and women out there and do what you got to do. Oh, snap! Psycho Crypto in the house. Let's get a G, baby. Hey, let's get a G. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Thank you for the $20 super chat. We got to hit them. We got to hit them with the... we gotta hit him with the Carlton, huh? Thank you. I appreciate the super chat. Shout out to you for always supporting the channel, the community, R2R member, those of you that are in R2R. Appreciate all of you. Wrecked. XUSD is the play. Hey. What was it like 2 in the morning the other day? I was like, all in XUSD. If you're in R2R, you saw that, right? I ain't in there pinning stuff like that. Like I'm not a call group, bro. We all have our ideas. We bring them together. I was pretty excited when I saw what was going on with Katie. I was like, all in. 0.002, 0.003. Now you see the price of XUSD, right? Pretty damn early to OG Web Chef 2 as well. Pretty damn early as far as, people talking about it, influencers. You know the drill. John Thompson in the house. Buy you a coffee. I owe you an effing coffee plantation at this point. Very grateful for your channel. Let's go. Hey, bro. I appreciate that. $20 super chat. You are the man. Let's hit him with the... Hey, man, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, John Thompson, for the $20 super chat in the house. Making Friday, making it rain. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, so I mean, R2R, the group, and everybody knows, like, I'm not in there thinking I know everything. Like, we are all picking each other's brains, right? We're all coming together. People need help knowing the contracts, this and that. And in the OG Web Chef ecosystem, right? You go into R2R and you see everybody's vibing on that token, up or down. It's like, I'm buying more, this and that. OG printers, -tracker.lovable.app. You'll see it in the video there going across right below me here. Is where like all the bread and butter is for you to see, like, tracking prices, ROI. Now the ROI has been off, for the past few days. So you can't rely on that. What you can rely on, like yesterday, I was like, bro, my main SAV wallet's been upstairs. I'm like, I bought SAV token, like right around the time I was buying Remember on a separate wallet. And I was like, I just remember it was hard to interact with as far as like the gas fee. I was like, well, this is ridiculous. I accumulated some. Then the ROI application told me it was like 50%. And I was like, hey, I can't get to that wallet yet. Like I'm dealing with sick kids and all that. So I head into the wallet that I have, access to immediately yesterday. I bought some, sold some, and I saw what the ROI was. It was like 10%. So it is off. The people in R2R are running the numbers, running the stats, and they'll let you know, like, hey, this is really going on. And regardless of like some things that are being fine-tuned within the ecosystem right now, like Beast, for example, you would think Beast is paying 0%. Well, it ain't paying 0%. People in the chat were like, hey, you got to interact with it. It's actually juicing up some good pulse rewards. So I went access to that wallet like an hour ago. And sure enough, you're printing pulse right now. Now, OG Web Chef ecosystem, my original entry into the ecosystem, right? My very first purchase, we're going to look at the token here, is FinFesta, right? So that led me to my first printer, which is Remember. We'll get into that in a second here. So I bought FinFesta. I didn't buy it as much as I would love to have bought, right? Like by far. Like when I was buying it, right, it was a little under $10. Now I'm always gonna have that. Oh man, if I coulda, woulda, shoulda, wish I woulda spent more on FinFesta, then I could ride this wave, right? And for me, I look back and I go, I would have round tripped it. Because I did round trip some pumps within the ecosystem. And I've been very transparent with my group. Like, bro, I should have like sold the Remember top and then bought back in and doubled up my position and be ready for the long haul because they are working on a few things, But the belief system is like something where it's not for everybody. You're gonna go through ups and downs, and they've done a lot of fixes. There's been a lot of rotations within the community. So at the end of the day, it's like people's thresholds are different. I act differently on different wallets. I act differently on certain wallets, but I literally have to put them out of arm's reach to be that disciplined for some of my investments. Like my SAV token, I couldn't even access it. I haven't still touched it. I got kids upstairs in the room and where that's at for reasons, right? Because I have certain tokens on Pulse channel. Like I don't want to ever sell them, right? What's the deal with these other stable coins? You can watch yesterday's stream. We spoke about that yesterday. Watch last night's live stream. I round trips the Monomics hard, right? And yeah, I mean it is what it is. Like if I could go back, I would have bought FinFesta, sold at the top, but my position, I held it up to here, all the way to here. Now I'm back, and I'm going. I remember the emotions I was going through right here, and especially up here. I was like, I didn't buy enough. So I gotta like reverse my mindset and go back to the way I felt here. And I was wishing for a crash to come down to where I originally bought, like praying it didn't happen. Now we're there, and my mind's like not interested. But I had to make myself interested, so I have been buying it because all through this time here, this token was giving me like less and less. So the opportunity in cryptocurrency presents itself like this in these forms. When you look at the charts, like they dart up and go down. Most of crypto looks like pump and dumps when you look at the charts, right? But the interesting thing with the OG Web Chef ecosystem too, right, is I'm starting to realize, because it's a web of tokens, right? Everything that has been launched, all these new tokens are supporting assets for, Beast, and you got supporting assets, that they're doing for Remember, for the 1 trillion members group and all that. But everything comes down to supporting FinFesta. Like, literally, this has been the token, and it's the OG token, 1 year, 9 month old, right? Its supply is itty bitty compared to, most tokens out there in Pulse Chain. Even Pump Tires tokens got 1 billion tokens, right? 20 million supply. You see a dead address has burned 94.5, about 95% almost of the supply out there. So the top dog wallet has 83,000 tokens. Okay. So this has been being burned consistently. They have been building a support system around FinFesta, which was my first entry when I fell in love with the ecosystem, with like understanding the opportunity that even when I was buying here, under the, $10 mark when I first got in, looking back and going, man, I could have got in, right around Christmas time, and I was messing with all these other tokens, and it was less and less. You go further back, right? You're looking, under $1. So if I could go back and hit those numbers, man, that's where I'm at now. Like, wish I could have got way more FinFesta there. And everything in the ecosystem seems to have its day where they come back and ROI, goes back up, and they do these boosts. And on some days you'll come here and it's 100% accurate. Right now it's all over the place because they're doing some things, right? So right now, if we go across the board and look at prices, and we hop to my first printer I fell in love with, right? Roughly like 8 zeros and a 4, 5, 8 zeros and a 5 where I started buying it. I talk about this with my members too. Like I'm transparent with everybody in my group. Like I don't have any reason to be like, what am I doing here with the chart? What is this here? Let me delete that. Hold on. Oh, that's where it originally came from. I was buying at these lows, like lower entries were like down here. It went up. I accumulated here and went back up. And after the fact that it corrected, I was like, I should have sold, right? And then accumulated more. But the ROI has been down, so it hasn't done a recovery just yet, right? But we've seen everything. Like we keep seeing these phases that we go through of like them doing test pilots in certain tokens and doing, showing the capabilities of what they can do to R2R. Well, they've done a lot for R2R. But what they can do with ROI, like on the spot. And the thing that's been the gift that's kept on giving, regardless of me round tripping, I started realizing people are rotating to ROI. So let me do that too. So the decision at the time for me was the rotation to Beast, right? And when Beast hit these all-time highs, I became more seasoned about how these rotations work. And I've been talking about this with my members too, on like, you know what, I need to sell these tops and then buy back at the bottom with house money for a position that I have like less emotion to at this point, right? If I buy here, like where my entries were, like I was starting to get in below $7 a Beast when I rotated from Remember, right, originally. If I bought here and I sold here and I bought back at my targets that I told my people, I said, like, we're going to go as low as $5 too. We almost got there. Then if it's house money, I no longer have this emotion of like what the price is, right? So I made that move here with Remember. I reached my goal though. My goal was to get each OG Web Chef token, separate wallet, separate ledger, all of that stuff. Now I can micromanage outside of just the token yield tracker website that could be off at any given time to know what I'm actually making, right? You can see it on the wallet, on the chain, see what it's producing. So I've reached that goal for each of them that I want to hold. My members only wallet that I'm tracking out of the ecosystem, its behavior is similar to what I've been telling people though, because now on my main holdings for Beast, I did get close to selling the top, about 15 bucks, but I've been able to accumulate down here, right, to about where I was to begin with. So I have those tokens and I have profit to go elsewhere. And guess where that wallet is penetrating profits that took from Beast. So now I have this bag here that's house money and I ain't worried about it. I don't have to lose sleep that I didn't sell the top like I didn't remember. So I learned from that. It elevated my game so I can keep a position in this ecosystem. It's like stress-free. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're at the casino with your paycheck on the line, it doesn't feel good. You start to do stupid stuff. But if it's house money you're playing with, right, you're just kind of not stressed. You're just chilling, ordering drinks, maybe walk to the buffet, eat some Chinese food. Gosh, I missed all that. Order some drinks, get some Chinese food. Watch a Rascal Flatts concert completely blacked out with my sister. Go to the poker room, kill it, go to the slot machine, lose it all. The good old days. The good old days. Man, I miss that. Anyways, so that's where I'm trying to identify tops and all that. And listen, it's because I want to get these house positions and chill. So now that this is close to where I originally, entered, a little bit close. When it gets to, if it got to 8 zeros and a 5, that's about where I first got in. I understand there's a 1 trillion member club happening. I'm not joining it on Telegram. I'm not doxing my wallet. I don't even care what they release for it. I just want to have as many tokens as I can with this. I can already get into the 1 trillion club with my separate wallet I have with this, but I'm like, nah, I'm good. Because you have to go confirm a hash and all that. I'm not going to do all that. I already told people in my group I ain't doing all that. Like, these are wallets that I'll never share. I got my public wallets. Everything has different behaviors and different strategies. That's just me, man. Call it OCD, call it crazy, call it what you want. That's what I'm doing. So I'm returning back because, right, every time you're in crypto, you want to buy when it's here. Nobody wanted to buy when I originally got in. No one seems to want to load up crazy amounts right now too. And that's where I have to identify mentally where I should be excited versus when most people were like, oh my God, this guy's in. Like, don't follow influencers, don't follow me. But I have been in here, round tripped it. But the excitement was all in these numbers. Now it's back down. No one wants to buy it. When are they going to want to buy it? When it's probably back up here above 8, from 8 zeros to 7. Maybe if it goes to 7, back to all-time highs, people buy the tops. That's just crypto. So now that I made the first mistake, round tripping, remember, I can take profits, get into remember. If remember goes up again, I can do the same thing and then start to use those to get into other positions. I had to use excess capital outside of the strategy to get, more of the other tokens that are on a dip. You guys remember, Monomics went up to like $100, right? And they're running these bots. The ROIs are changing, but I'm identifying right now different things that I need to focus on, right? FinFesta. I need to focus on that. Remember, I don't think OG is going to forget about remember. As a matter of fact, he keeps telling you he's not going to forget about remember, and he keeps repeating himself. They've talked about Beast being something that they can't replicate. It's very interesting to see the growing pains of an ecosystem. But when that happens, you get your second chance opportunity that you were hoping for. But when that opportunity comes, because you've rolled the wave up and it comes again, you're like more like standoffish. So for me personally, I'm like, okay, if it wasn't for OG Web Chef during this hard time, right? During this hard time in Pulse Chain, I wouldn't have had the blessing. And shout out to Hums too. Yeah. When it comes to by the way, these are not like paid content. I've talked to OG Web Chef before in a private message, let him know like, hey, I like your work. Love to have you on an interview. That never happened. I invited him into my private group. He had been in there. Matter of fact, he left this morning, my private group. I've talked more to Hums than I have him. We've interacted. Humps is really cool, who's the partner in crime. I even recently had a conversation with the Myth after I left the Myth's ecosystem over on Sonic, who's a buddy of theirs, just for him being like a jerk to one of my members, Like, I'm all about respect. You can't respect me, like, F you. But we talked, we didn't even bring up the fact of why I left the ecosystem. We just went straight into a conversation. There's no point in being like, oh, I'm sorry, bro. Like, no, none of that. School me on some things he's working on. That's over on Sonic Chain. So now I'm like, okay, I didn't explain my reason why I took off from that ecosystem or anything along the lines, but now I understand like his thought process, what he's got going on over there. And I'm like, hey, I'll bring back some Sonic, get into the Supersonic decks and the affiliated tokens. I understand his relationship with OG and Hums and starting to understand the smart contracts a little bit better from what I was seeing on chain to what I had these conversations with. So shout out to the Myth, right? I will be talking more about his platform and his tokens, aside from, I don't want to call it a misunderstanding. Listen, people can be jerks in a bad mood. It didn't rub me the right way. I was like, F this guy, I'm out. But we talked, didn't hash out. There's nothing to hash out, man. There's nothing to apologize for, right? He might have had a bad moment. I don't know. I didn't talk to him about it. But I am going to say, hey, this guy's pretty smart. I know his strong connections and affiliations with these other guys could have done me right, because if it wasn't for the OG WebSeth ecosystem, during these tough times, I would have never been able to buy these bottoms at this magnitude. We've been printing hard. It's been a blessing, right? So there's no hard feelings. Like I said, I think I told people in R2R today, yeah, OG Chef left the chat just now. Like, as I'm making the thumbnail for this live stream and tweeting about him, like, I think he might have left, like, during that time. I don't know. And I was like, maybe he doesn't like me. Maybe he doesn't. I just threw that out there. It doesn't matter, though. What matters is the opportunity was given. I've taken advantage of it. I didn't do every move perfectly. Like, I look back and I wish I would have did this, and that, and it would have been, like, more mega bucks, right? But I was able to buy the bottoms, my EHEX, my PulseX, and it's been great. It's been great. So, like, how mad could I be about anything with those dudes? I'm very happy with them. What are the top 5 OG WebShop tokens, like his babies? If I had to think, like, what his babies are, I had to think, like, through my experience, would be FinFesta, Finfire, Remember, Miser, and Beast. Then you got Hums, who's Hums' baby's Gas. So Hums is the partner in crime, which, like I said, I've talked more to Hums than anybody else. Really cool guy, down to earth. Hums is really good for the ecosystem because OG comes in like once a week, drops the alpha bomb, and Hums is in there when he doesn't have to be, especially during times right now where volatility and bots are being, adjusted and changes are going on with the ROI. He deals with all the whining and all the good and the bad, right? So Hums is micromanaging the community at a very high level compared to any other developer. Go into a chat with a developer, right? That's token is getting fudded, price is going down, ROI adjusted, whatever it may be, and they will just like walk away. He'll be like, I'm leaving now, guys. I've had enough. And he'll stay there for hours after the fact and still micromanage the chat. So he's really good for the ecosystem as far as what he's done from a tech side. But for a community-driven ecosystem, he shows how much he cares and micromanages that, for his tokens and Chef, and let Chef cook. Right? He's made that clear. Like, I'm here to support. Here's the way I support. I'm part of bot operations. I'm gonna let him cook, and I'm gonna put this weight on my shoulders. He's done a good job of that. So when you have leaders, like, I like to invest in people, and I talked about this. Shout out to Dirty Crypto last night. He said it, and I've always said it. Like when I invested in XUSD, I invested in the white hat who saved Pulse Chain. So I went heavy. When I realized what she was doing, I went heavy. I invested in a person and their ability to take their cryptocurrency to the next level, understanding that they got some big brain energy, right? Big brain energy. 23 watching, only 8 likes. Hey, hit the like button if you're on YouTube, please. Everyone has their own game. I like stuff and living off the yield. Yeah, it's been amazing. Cadmir, Kaka, you are the man. Hey, you're the man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a member. So, with that being said, right, we went through different phases, especially with like Mizr. They built something for Mizr. It didn't seem like the crowd was too wild about it, but they keep on telling you like we're gonna revisit, and I think everything will have its day, because you saw what happened with SAV token, right? All of a sudden it's like crazy APR price action, and I had bought bags of it just in case, because I was like, at the time I was like, I'm printing a lot of Pulse. Remember, maybe SAV, since it was designed to print Pulse X, would happen soon. Now, when I was buying it in February, I was buying it thinking like soon, like in the next couple of weeks, or to the point where I just forgot about it. Then it's doing this. I'm like, all right, cool. So maybe there's some other tokens that I have dug into that I've bought that have been kind of dormant that I hope have this kind of recovery too, which leads me back to no man gets left behind with OG, no token. He has revisited something that's been like what you would call non-functioning, broken, with fixing different aspects and working with other people when it comes to the distributors and making them more gas efficient for payouts and, you know, collecting your rewards. So, I mean, there is some tokens that you can take a look at, right? Like, I don't want to do all your homework, but you can come here and see, you know, the tokens that have been launched and some that have just been kind of chilling, right? You got a lot here, a lot of different opportunity that, hey, if he comes back and revisits it, you can see some crazy price appreciation. I was buying all mine between like 75 cents to $1.50. And the reason why from 75 cents to $1.50, when I started buying it, I was moving up the price during that time because the liquidity was low. I didn't think it would have the liquidity that it has right now because it didn't have anywhere close to it. Gas fee was high. So this is nuts. This is nuts. So my thought process is you know, go in and buy the things that I think are going to have a swing back in the right direction. I think this is the latest token that they launched. A lot of people are happy with it. But my favorite outside of Remember just got to second place. I can't help it. Like, I love to Remember. Obviously, like, was my favorite token. If I could say what was my favorite token of all time high, at the peaks of my feeling and emotions with OG Web Chef, I would always have said Remember. But then after I experienced Beast, I was like, all right, man, until somebody can come and, you know, knock Beast to second place, I would be more than happy if that happens. But Gas Money was up there too, really. So it's like, but Beast is the Beast. It really is. It's done wonders. I believe, like, from my position, the reason why I was at 35 days plus of 5%, no less, ROI daily is because of entry price and the actual ROI, daily ROI. So it was like the biggest position, the biggest play I made in the ecosystem. I'm just so happy. But we have so many tools now. We're not like so much and have blind spots in this ecosystem like when I first got in. They're building apps, building different things to make the new user experience a lot different than when I first got in. When I first got in, it was just like, how do I know how much I'm making? And you just see how much pulse, and you know, now people are starting to understand more angles and how this works, and seeing how OG and Hums are operating and what they need to do to maintain ROI, the adjustments they make. They're definitely not letting it just go to to shit and like tough luck, right? They are fighting every day. Just know that. Hums is the man. He works his ass off. Same with OG and Steady. Those guys works. Yeah, shout out to Steady Pup as well. They have a lot of support, a lot of benevolent whales in positions in this ecosystem, which a lot of I've identified and know like of who they are. I don't know them personally, but know their wallets, know who they are. and I see like, hey, they're here for the greater good, holding for the greater good. And by them doing that, they're allowing you and myself to have gotten life-changing, divs and opportunities and positions, and they could have just jumped on our heads. But by them being benevolent, they're allowing all of you to eat, right? And they're working with, the people that are not only the creators, but, they're supporters, and they're just as good of actors as the individuals who are making these tokens. So we've seen this ecosystem grow pretty fast. Let's see. Beast has entered the buy zone. Grab some and chill. Right? I have these marks here. I was telling my group, I was like, the lowest would be $5 if we could. I said it wasn't. I was saying it wasn't likely because this wick had already been filled with this drop here. But I was like, right here in this zone, I feel like we could get an entry. And sure enough, now it's above it. And I've been talking about this for weeks. And I'm like, just because I mentioned this, guys, when it was going here, I was telling people, I started talking about this as we were going here. I'm like, don't take it as FUD. I had a learning experience. Remember round tripping, learn off my mistakes. I'm not a financial advisor, but you can learn off my mistakes if you wish, and I'll tell you what I wish, coulda, woulda, shoulda done. I did like OG's move though too. I saw that he was paying out XUSD like hours after I had told people to buy. I was telling people to buy. He had already been making these adjustments for payouts with if you know, you know. So I'm sure he saw all the activity that was going on with Katie. He jumped on that, gave some buy pressure to an excellent community and token that's coming out right now. And, I've been talking about that early with my people. We'll talk about it in members only, the things that I'm learning and understanding, different aspects. We'll go through that tonight, right? I just want to help point the finger in the right direction. Like I said, I'm not a professional, not a financial advisor, but my network of people that I have surrounding me and that I talk to allowed me to go out there and send a tweet out that, hey, you guys are about to find out, right? When it came to what happened recently with PDI, right? We'll reflect back to this tweet. This is not to brag. This is not to tell you. This is just to let you know, like, okay, I've worked in this space for a long time, right? And I've worked on building relationships. I've killed a lot of relationships. I've learned from that. I was a real jerk with people when they really like set me off to the point where like I just had this mindset of like F you, I understand that it's not the route to go. So I try to be friends with as many people as I possibly can. Let me go back to and keep those relationships, right? Like I said, even though I suspect OG Web Chefs is not a fan of mine, never supported my channel. When I asked him, that's why I was like, hey, you went in Crypto Coffee. I had been asking you in Hums. I didn't get any support. I was like, would have loved it. Left my chat today. I have all these things that make me feel like, hey, he doesn't like me. But I'm like, so what? Like, I will still talk good about his ecosystem and pay the respects that are due. So back to this tweet on the 15th. I said a major flaw of Pulse Chain will soon be exposed, causing massive sell pressure. The ecosystem will go through a cleanse and prevail in the end. Hold strong. It's not their fault, but sheep may become lions someday. And that's the opportunity for the PDI people to wake up. I already knew what was going to be attempted, right? And I was like, if it happens, great. And then sure enough, Katie saved Pulse Chain, right? I come on, onto X, right? And I let people know on the 16th. That's 2 days ago, right? Be a part of the new and achievable narrative, the right side of history. It's not PDI to $1. It's XUSD to $1, right? And XUSD can go to $1.15 or higher or even less. You need to read the mechanics, right? Look who took over MakerDAO. So I've been doing this long enough. Like I always say, no one's lost more money than me. No one's made more money than me in this space that's been on camera for as long as me, regardless of that. Like I said, I've deleted my large channels, and this has always been since 2015, off and on when I've had different channels of being out. And back then it was worse. Being able to come out on camera and talk about something that once I log off today, off this live stream, I have nobody to talk about cryptocurrency with. Back then, all I wanted to talk about was Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then when DeFi had happened, you know, and started smart contracts started to launch on Ethereum and DeFi was popular, I had no one to talk about with it. Now, some people can talk to me about ETH and Ethereum, but they're not in the trenches of DeFi. They have no idea about this level being this deep. And to talk about an OG WebChef token, talk about P copies, nobody I know. So once this live stream's over, I'm like back to my real world life. I can only have these conversations in my Telegram and on X. You know, everyone's just like on CNN, like, oh, another tariff. Eggs are going to go up. You know, like, I don't want to be at a family get together talking about, you know, the different things that are going on with celebrities. I don't want to be talking about any other things outside of crypto. So that's why I've always done this. Right? So I can speak about it. Now, 10 years after I started doing it, this has been 10 years. Like with my first channel, I got rid of that, made another channel, took 4 years to get to 30,000 subs, got rid of it. Like I've walked away from the game many times because of the noise. Now I'm back and I'm like, let me ignore the noise because I know at a certain level it gets loud. But now I can have these conversations at a much advanced level with a lot of fun stuff. And that can only happen here with you guys. Only here with you guys. Definitely while you are, grab some XUSD, not financial advice. XUSD is the truth. When the new updates go live, B skyrockets, yield to go off the roof. Yeah, it's going to have its time again. Dollar incoming fast, not financial advice. Yeah, you know, everything goes through growing pains. Look at this chart here, right? You get the tweet from me on the 16th, guys. That went public. It was 2 zeros and a 1, 2. At the most, probably a 1, 5 if you go to like the 17th. I told my people in the group, I told people publicly, you know, I identified what big brain energy was going on. Somebody did something. Katie ended P-Maker DAO. So safe pulse chain, right? So I'm just able to, thankfully for being in the game so long, have the gift to go out there and see, you know, things that could be potentially great. Sometimes things just don't work out. That's crypto, right? Is there a tax when you sell Beast? You might want to go on their Telegram right now. They're working some things out right now, so I don't know what the tax is. The last I heard it was like 30% in or out, and they told you not to do anything. So go verify that in their Telegram, and you'll be able to, you know, find out. That's your best source, man. Make sure you're in there. Make sure you know, post notifications, whatever you need to set, and you're aware. Gotta check my phone. Updates come in by the minute. And if you're not in R2R, the link's in the description, guys. Right? I only charge $20 to be in R2R because I don't want a bunch of stupid scammers. The biggest Telegram group I had ever was 10,000 people. And holy smokes, man, in my sleep and while I was awake, because I couldn't pay attention 24/7, even with admins, it was just scammer after scammer. So I have a group of, how many members do I have in there? 389 people after OG WebChef left this morning. After OG's like, I don't like it, Thomas. I don't like you. He left me for Crypto Coffee. Hey, he is a better looking guy though. Crypto Coffee's got like a really nice like 5 o'clock shadow too when he gets there. Looks pretty. But 389 after OG left. Maybe 388. Maybe Hums will leave too. I don't know. Maybe I did something. Maybe Hums is like, screw Thomas G. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I would have a conversation with him. Like I said, I haven't really talked much to Jesus Escobar, a.k.a. OG WebChef. Some people would be like, he's probably getting paid. I've heard that. Like, they're paying this guy to talk about it. Nobody ever gave me shit to talk about OG WebChef. Not once. Or XUSD. You know, I just go out there and talk about crypto. If I like something, I talk about it, right? Like, the true definition of shilling is somebody paying you so you can talk about it. Being bought to like it. No one has to buy me. It's hard to look on chain, though. without DBank, but I've adapted, right? But even you have access to be a wallet watcher through this website too. Track your own wallet, track different things, and then what's going on in the ecosystem. So in conclusion, right? And I like the fact that somebody asked me where are the babies, because I'm going to start collecting the babies. I don't think I added it to this chart. Oh yeah, I'm going to start adding more of the babies, right? Right now I'm happy with my beast position. I'm happy with this position. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you when it comes to SAV. I couldn't get access to the wallet. If I had access, like everyone was asleep, I would have walked upstairs, grabbed my ledger, and sold at $11 what I had and made money and just bought this dip. That's based off the story I told you, right? To hold it for the long run. So I'm happy what I've done with Beast. You know, got lucky trading. I'm not much of a trader. Got lucky, called some tops. We're gonna be in. I said it. I don't want to FUD Beast. I'm letting you know, man. This is crypto. When stuff pumps, it comes back down. So might be able to sell the top, buy a bigger bag, and print harder. That's all it was. So my Beast is complete. My original Remember bag that I had it at its largest I've had it. I should be there soon because of how cheap it is. And then FinFire and FinFesta I want to focus on. So that's 3. Beast, Remember, FinFire, FinFesta. That's 1 more. Listen, the reason why there's a 6th by default is because the top 5 would be I have to revisit Miser because I don't think they're going to forget their loyal holders in Miser, so I'm going to get more Miser. But Flexmas, I've been sitting on the side getting to a goal that I wanted. And I just have to accept that at this point, they have a vote every Friday. It gets a pump heading into Friday. I get excited with the rewards. They change. They're getting bigger for me because my position is getting bigger. But then it dumps. So I have to just, on that wallet, I'm just like, forget about it after the weekend. It goes back down. Until people get what they want out of Flexmas, which I don't know what more you can want with Flexmas. I feel like I'm the only one who likes it, really. Right? I've had some on a wallet that I've traded out, I've sold. Like you can go see that wallet if you remember. You know what it is and what it holds. Like I can't. It's all on chain. The one wallet I've been accumulating Flexmas, so I'm really happy to almost get to my goal. Like almost there. Wanted 10,000 Flexmas, and in hopes that sometime down the road people will not want to get rid of it. And I think that'll happen once all the adjustments are made. And, they polish up Beast where they want it. Remember Trillionaires, club. People are happy. The Miser Club, people are happy. And people start to, the sentiment changes with ROI. Like the sentiment shouldn't have changed. You got 1% ROI? You're not happy? What's going on here? That's a God-given gift in crypto. So when the time comes for Flexmas to have its day, I'll be ready. It'll be like, it's $10 now, suckers. But till then, it's only 99 cents. But, I believe that the times will change. I'm here getting all excited, looking at XUSD. I didn't mean to click on this. Don't speculate on that token. But listen. I've done pretty deep into the ecosystem. Went around and started buying some of the stuff that I found. Right. So what I just showed you, I found something little from somebody that I know, somebody that pointed it out to me, and I looked at it and I was like, let me buy a little bit on a wallet, and I went on another wallet. I was like, should I buy a little bit more? I bought tiny bits, and I'm always speculating. I don't know. I know some things, but I don't know to the no. But I know if I show something, people are like, ooh, what is that? But somebody put me on game. Shout out to the homie. Anyways, what else did I not cover today? Why would you sell it? I can't understand the Jeep mentality engraved in your DNA, people. OG equals God sent. The Jeep mentality. Well, I don't know. I think if I were somebody that was selling now, I would have to believe. Where's Beast? I would have to believe, right? And what I believed here would be happening here. But I don't believe that, right? I felt like we would go here, and I thought we topped out around 15-ish when I got out. It went a little bit higher. That's okay. But I knew I would be able to buy back here. So if you're selling here, maybe you think it's going here to below $2, or you just want to get out. That could only be my guess. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see how the Myths token's doing. The Myth, the man, the myth, the legend. I had a good conversation recently. This dude pretty smart. And a lot, whether you guys, some of you guys starting to hear like OG and Hum shot this guy out, the Myth. He's got a lot of skin in the game as far as like putting in work to help those guys out, to contribute. He's contributed a lot. So if you like what you've seen so far with OG ecosystem and you like Sonic, or you want to experience Sonic because it's a much gas-friendly chain, then that's probably because the tech is better, to be honest. From Pulse, from my experience. SPO, not a gas token. Acts his own DEX, has the SS printer token. Some will speculate that getting in would be a good time. I'm at the point where I'm like, I got to come back in, right? Like I said, I told you guys, honest with you. I didn't like the way he said something to somebody. And since then, I've talked to him, and I understand, what it is his goal is. And if his goal is something to do with me making money, shit, that's my goal too now. I don't have any beast yet. Looking to buy. I see. He wants to buy. Don't forget, pound the like button. Drop a comment. Get the word out there, right? Ever since I've been rebuilding my channel, came back, I'm growing. More people are like, there's a lot of people still remember me, right? They'll know because there'll be a lot of people here that's on Pulse Chain. They're claiming they're like the Moon King and they've done this and that, and it doesn't seem like too humble of individuals that I see out there with their stuff. Like, even if I give you a 100x play, let's say I give you a play and it's 100x, I'll point out that I let you know, but I'm not gonna lose touch of reality and who I am. It's not gonna change me or I think like my shit don't stink, I'll just be like, cool. We win. Want as many people to win by, giving them the ideas, and when they go and do their own research, because like I said, you shouldn't be influenced by me. But if you're savvy enough to go and investigate and you like it and it works out, that's great. Then we have winners, right? But I've done a lot of things in the past where people were very happy, people weren't happy. So there's going to be a mix of that. I can give you 100x and then one person, two people could lose money because they capitulate early, be bitter towards me. So like this time around, I'm adapting to that environment where just the noise, I just have to shut it off, right? So I stick around. But I'm not a Moon King. I don't wear a belt on camera. I got some nice sunglasses. I don't need to wear them on camera. I wear them in the car videos because the sun bugs my eyes, bro. Right? But I want to keep it as humble as I can. If XUSD did another 10x, great. My people did good. All I want is pound the like button. And if you like my content, you want to get a little extra content, and the link in the description, for $2.99 a month, you get to see my face a little bit longer. Not $1 a month keeps the bear market away. You're not going to get rich off, my labor, but we can communicate together and network. Join R2R, learn some things from people that you never learned. I'm still learning every day, and if it works out and you elevate your game, right, then this could really help you in the long run or in the short run, depending on who you are. Get the most out of any ecosystem, any blockchain during any time, bear market or bull. There's money to be made. All right. So R2R is that place. Joke around a lot. We have fun. But when we lock in, we're all there. And there's a lot of smart people and a lot of OGs. Shout out to Trip Jammer. Damn. Shout out to Chi. Damn. Shout out to El Macho. Damn. El Macho. I would consider that dude like family. Don't forget to pound the like button. Drop a comment. Till next time. We'll do it again. Yeah, dog.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Crypto talk with Thomas G.
Yeah, dog.
Bringing heat. Mining sprees. And we're farming all around, including E.
Yeah, dog.
Bringing heat. Mining sprees. And we're farming all around, including got me on Avex and bought me some Joe. Farming go crazy, you know how it goes. Zoopy on Phantom, I got a few nodes. Sticking my Rex, you know I'm gon' hold. Getting these calls from the dog pound. Buy my dot for the next round. Now I'm coming up off the compound. Got my drip off the rebound. Getting these calls from the dog pound. Buy my dot for the next round. Now I'm coming up off the compound. Got my drip off the rebound. Crypto talk with Thomas G.
Yeah, dog.
Bringing heat. Mining sprees. And we're farming all